Here I have an Empire Strikes Back introductory two-player game. This was two pre-constructed decks that allowed you to reenact more or less the Battle of Hoth. It also came with a booster pack on the inside. So that's going to be a Premier Unlimited, not really from Special, or I should say from Empire Strikes Back, but randomized booster packs. There's lots of good cards available in there. And I thought it was kind of cool on the back. You can see some of the cards are obscured. They have some fake snow around them. You can see it especially there on that dark side card. So just taking the box art to the bit of an extra mile. Looks kind of cool. This one's a bit more tightly shrink wrapped than the Premier one was. So I'll see if I can catch a corner here without cutting my finger off. Okay. Try to get under there with scissors. A bit easier if it's not right under the camera. Okay. So this shrink wrap's held up pretty well. Booster packs are pretty brittle nowadays. Some of them have pinholes in them, but since there's no foil in here, it's just plastic. Maybe that's why it's held up a little bit better. Just kind of like the art on here with everything going on, the snow speeders, the AT-ATs as well. And you got Vader in the background, of course. Just a nice looking box. Definitely something that, if I would have seen this and had the money, I definitely would have bought it as 9-year-old me when it came out. It's a bit tough to open though. Let's see if just lifting the box up. Nope, it's a little bit too tight for that. Alright, feels a little bit stuck. Oh, I wonder if it is taped. Okay, the other one wasn't taped. Makes me wonder if they're usually taped. I did notice that the box seemed upside down on the other one, so I do have to wonder if there was something involved there in terms of it was opened up and shrink wrapped later, but never know for sure. Seemed like everything that should have been there was there on the Premier one from last video. Got some tape on the bottom here too, or I guess that's the top since I'm upside down. It's not coming off so easy. We'll see if I can keep most of the box on there. Okay, hopefully it speeds up a little bit. I can't seem to get under the tape here. I wonder what's up. Okay, there we go. So let's try that again. Taking the lid off. That's much better. Okay. So here's our rule book. It's probably got the Hoth card list in there, along with some rules relative to what would be going on in the Hoth game. Walker Garrison, we'll see that card in here. You must really like that Star Destroyer picture because it featured in the other rule book. In fact, I'm not sure if there's starships in these decks. So no card list in here as of yet. Oh, here it is. So that's a card list. That might be a good screenshot for someone to take if they ever wanted to recreate these particular decks. Seems like a lot of Echo Base Troopers and Snow Troopers here. And a few AT-AT Walkers and Snow Speeders as well. Alright. So let's see what we got. These look to be packaged the same as the light side and dark side ones from the previous game. Seems like I caught a loose edge here, so I'll try to open it up quickly with that. There we go. So Chewie, who's been virtualized in a fairly good card now. And the Snow Speeders, which aren't too bad. They deploy cheap. They can add a pilot, so it could be worse. Lone Rogue, the exclusive interrupt to this deck. And there's the Leia. This is kind of a hard card to get. I think there's only one of them in the whole deck. So Leia herself, this was reprinted from the Jedi pack, but this particular white border version, there's not too many of these available very often. So it's a few bucks a card, which is surprising from one of these pre-constructed decks. Not too many are like that. Another Snow Speeder. So there's some New Hope cards mixed in here as well. We got our Hoth sites, of course, makes sense in a Hoth deck. At least a couple Chewies. So a lot of New Hope in here, more than I was expecting. Of course, there's got to be Premier being the base set. So Hoth sites just trying to get the light side and the dark side to interact here. And I guess I didn't think about it, but these Hoth sites, let's see, what's the copyright date on them? It's hard to tell. Does that say 1996? That might be one way to tell the difference. White border Hoth, I believe, the original, I should not say the original, the revised Hoth set was 1998. So now that I think about it, there's some starter deck white border Hoth that's different. So I'm sure some collectors will be interested in that. Quite a few Hoth sites in here, multiples of the same kind. Another Chewie. Okay. And I was under the impression that this was the set that a Electro Binoculars was in. So I'm going to double check that. I thought there was a particular error version of Electro Binoculars, but looking on the card list, it does not look like it is on there. So that makes me want to go back to I got the other book here. Okay. So we got the dark side, then we'll go to the light side. Almost the light side was first. Interesting. Okay, they're on the same page. That makes more sense. So devices, Electro Binoculars. So it must have been in the other set that the error Electro Binoculars was. So the idea with the error Electro Binoculars was 2 force here. That's a fair way to cost that because you can take the card, use 2 force. If it was only 1 force, like in the error version, you could put it right back on your force pile. So basically, for free, keep looking at the top card of your reserve deck until it was something you wanted it to be. So let's try the dark side one now. Made in Belgium. These early products were made in Belgium. I think the other ones, the later sets, were printed elsewhere. And this was much easier to open than the Premier deck. Well, if I caught it right. This one started out easy, then doesn't want to cooperate. Okay, finally. Almost looks like there was some kind of pull tab there, or that's how it was sealed. I don't know, but I couldn't quite find a catch on it. So starting out with the 2 of the most important cards in the set right here, the Walker Garrison really adds bonuses to your force drains. Got to spread out your AT-ATs though. And I think there was only 3 in the deck, so it was tough to actually pull that off in this particular deck. There's the Imperial Walker. It's not immune to attrition at all, but power 4 for a deploy of 4. You could be worse. You can add a pilot on there. So some guards. And yep, more white border Hoth cards that have a 1996 date. So that would be interesting to compile a set of those of 1996 or 1996 white border Hoth only. And just like the light side, lots of New Hope cards. Here's the Hoth Mountains. The only way you can get this card is in one of these. They made no foil version of it. There is no black border version of it. So that's all there is if you want to play the Hoth Mountains. It doesn't have a bad text. Imperials and combat vehicles deploying -1. Especially in this old format where it's hard to get out sights. That is not a bad text to have. Another Veers. And he does count as a general for cards that target generals because it says so in his lore, even though it doesn't in his title. Lots of the basics, some mines. They really seem to want to get mines going in these starter sets, but I don't know if they ever really got off the ground. But timer mines, infantry mines, another Hoth Mountains. That's a somewhat desirable card because, like I said, this is the only place you can get it. Now I got some pack fresh, or deck fresh rather. Third markers, useful sight even today. Add 1 to your force trains there, add 1 to your weapon destiny draws. It's pretty nice. Okay. I'm going to get that light side starter deck back out from the previous video. I have it right next to me. See if we can find the electro binoculars that I had been thinking about. Didn't think much about it. I only have just a couple copies of the errored electro binoculars. And it would be nice to see one in its natural habitat coming right out of the only place, as far as I know, that you can get it. But I might have to look that up, or if you know where it came from, please do comment in the comments below if I don't find it here. Or even if I do. Okay, no, that seems to be the normal version. So if you know where the error version of electro binoculars comes from, I'd be happy to hear that, because I might have misunderstood the information on that. And then we'll close with a booster pack here. White border Premier. So we could get a Vader, we could get a Han, a Luke, a Leia, C-3PO, Tarkin, Vader and Obi-Wan's gear, the Devastator. Those are all pretty good cards. Or we could get another Seeker like last video. Lots of options. Okay, rare's always the 5th card, at least if the booster's been packaged according to the standard way. So there's another electro binoculars. Still has that 2 force text. I'm wondering where the use 2 force to deploy, then peak using 1 force ones came from. Getting into the uncommons now. Useful card if you draw a lot of cards, it can recycle them back in your deck. A unique Jawa. It's always nice to get a unique Jawa. A decent uncommon. It is a ship, is our rare Devastator. Very nice. That's a rare one. I count that as a main. So, Vader's personal Star Destroyer, at least at the point of A New Hope. So that is a very nice card to get and a great way to close out the video. So I'll have some more sealed product coming as part of this playlist. This was the second of probably about 22, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending on how I divide things up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed seeing the Devastator at the end there, and I hope you tune in for further ones. Thanks for watching.